program that he has been up to across the country, and he also did drum up support for the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga. So Pandit saying he's going all out in his final few days in office to campaign for his preferred presidential candidate. Again, another subject of massive debates across the country over whether or not the president should do that. And as part of what he has been doing also, he has been, or the state has been in a tussle with Kenyatta University over some 410-acre piece of land. We'll get into that later on. But Mark, to just start us off, again, this question has been asked so many times. Is it proper for the president, an outgoing president, to campaign for one of the candidates? Ben, what's your take?
Thanks for having me, and that's a critical question because it ties itself to many arguments. First is a constitutional argument that many have argued that the president, as a symbol of national unity, should ensure that in every election in which he is not a candidate, he should remain neutral. Secondly, it's a question also, again, of the constitution, asking the question that does a president lose his civic and his political rights by virtue of being a president? Isn't he allowed to express himself in whichever manner he sees fit?
Right.
The third is the argument that then is it deemed that state machinery is being used to campaign for a certain candidate versus not another. Now, to answer these questions, we must be very pragmatic. Number one, to say that the president is divisive in campaigning for one person is to say that our democratic process is divisive. The process of democracy is not supposed to divide a people. It is a people coming together to make a decision. Because if it was divisive, then whoever loses or wins, this country should remain fragmented. And one of the mature things that we need to do is that democracy needs to allow people to have their way and others to have their say. The second issue about whether he loses his political rights, I do not think so. Obama, when he was in office, campaigned for Hillary Clinton. Why? And why do we campaign for the people we campaign for? We campaign because we have ideologies and ideas that are similar.
So there's a precedent even?
Yes. All right. So it is not something that is doing that is outside of the construct. Now, secondly, the issue of government machinery does not hold water because we know for a fact the deputy president himself holds political rallies and meetings within the precincts of his dwelling, of his official residence. So all of these things, in my view, Ben, no, I don't think the president is wrong.
Many points. Joy, what do you think? Does the fact that those who say that the fact that he is campaigning against his own deputy makes a difference? What do you think?
Oh, he's been against his own deputy for a while. That's not a secret. And in fact, if he turned around and started campaigning for the deputy, it might be a problem. My issue with this is not even whether the president can or cannot, because obviously under Article 38, he is free to exercise his political rights as he deems it fit. Only as being commander-in-chief, his stature, you would imagine that he will be at a level where he's offering reassurance that there will be stability, there will be a smooth handover. You would expect that that is the tone with which he would be trying to lead the nation, rather than in this tone. Because if peradventure after August 9th, his preferred successor is not picked, then where does that leave him? Is he a leader without a vision? Is he a leader without direction? Then some of the language that has been used, sitaachia mtu, my preferred successor, you know, it has connotations of sounding like almost it is up to him, and yet it is up to Kenyans. So that doesn't sit very well with some of the, a section of the society. In my opinion, the president has the right to do whatever it is he wants to do as a political and a private citizen. However, in this particular instance, given the nuances that have been there with the undercurrents with him and his deputy, it is expected that he does, because you would imagine that in his handshake deal with Raila, campaigning for him was part of the package deal. So the argument might be even that he has not done enough in terms of going out for Raila. But in my opinion, what he has done, because of the weight of his statement whenever he speaks, a little goes a long way. It's like salt or like a chili cube. A little goes a long way. So even if he does 2 or 3 rallies, it counts for something in the handshake deal that I will actually front you as my preferred successor.
All right. Mheshimiwa, your party leader has said that he will work until his final day. Do you think there's a danger of him leaving the country in not a very united state?
Oh, for a moment I thought you said there's a danger of him leaving the country. That's I was wondering where he's going. That's why I was looking at you like that. I was a bit surprised. Yeah. You said that there's a danger.
Tumba says he's leaving to Shaweri.
Yeah, but
he has a home where he needs to go back.
All right.
First of all, the president has every right to express himself. He has freedom of expression. Second of all, every president subsequent to multi-party democracy has had a favored candidate. When President Moi, when we entered, his favorite candidate was Uhuru Kenyatta.
Right.
Kibaki's, when he finished his term, it was quite clear that his favorite candidate was Uhuru Kenyatta. So it's the style in which it is done, and they have that right. And I think that Joy did say, and I very respectfully want to disagree with you, that it would maybe have been part of the handshake. I do not think personally, I could be wrong, that at the time that His Excellency the President entered into the handshake with the Right Honourable Prime Minister, it was on the table that he would support him. I think there was a sequences of events that then led to him supporting the Right Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga. Having said that, I also feel that, and speak because, and we know because our constitution acknowledges God Almighty, we're a country and we're a spiritual country. We had our first liberation, we had our second liberation. I think that His Excellency is seeing much further than we can even imagine. And I think it was precipitated by events, and with all due respect to His Excellency, the Deputy President, who started his campaigns early, and I'll leave that, it was probably strategy and perhaps good strategy at that time. The President of the Republic of Kenya, and those are my personal opinions, has felt that it's very personal to me that he has reached a point and that this country needs a final healing. And we cannot have this healing. And often they say in African traditions, even in biblical traditions, that it is done by the sons of those, you know, where the grievances began. So I see that there's a deeper, and I feel a deeper, which was precipitated, of course, by the other events, a deeper reason as to why he has pushed and preferred this particular candidate. I think he recognizes that the Right Honourable Raila Amolo Odinga deserves his place in the history of Kenya.